I invite you to pray with me. Gracious God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts together in this place be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Amen. Faith can be a complex and complicated thing. Like any relationship, there are a variety of aspects to faith which must be considered and given the proper attention. But sometimes it is helpful to return to the basics, to remind ourselves of the core values which form the foundation upon which our faith is built. Engaging in such an exercise, at least once in a while, helps to keep us framed, to make everything else put in its proper perspective. And it provides us with a renewed sense of spiritual energy to continue living out our faith from day to day. The prophet Micah offered his core values when he wrote, "God has told you, O people, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God?" At the heart of Micah's faith is relationship with God, with each other, and with the world. Jesus had the opportunity to share his core values on the occasion when someone asked him about the greatest commandment. Jesus responded, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." At the heart of Jesus' faith is relationship with God, with each other, and with ourselves. Several years ago, the Christian Church Disciples of Christ formulated a statement which reflects their core values. In clear and concise language, it states, "We believe that God is calling us to be a faithful, growing church that demonstrates true community, deep Christian spirituality, and a passion for justice." At the heart of faith for that denomination is relationship with God, with each other, and with the world. Are you detecting a pattern here? I hope so, because it certainly jumps out at me. A number of years ago, I attended a clergy lecture series that featured Dr. Rodney Romney. He spoke to us about what he perceives to be the core values for his faith. He organized his lectures around three basic approaches to faithful living: the way of the heart, the way of the head, and the way of the hand. Each way represents a particular focus, a particular emphasis for faith. The way of the heart might be described in terms of spirituality or mysticism. The way of the head might be described in terms of the intellectual or the scholarly. And the way of the hand might be described in terms of service, justice, or social action. Each has value, each has strengths, and each has roots in the scriptures. But finally, each by itself is inadequate for the task. All three are necessary to live a balanced, harmonious, meaningful life of faith. During his time with us, Dr. Romney shared his own core values. They form the basis for what he believes and how he seeks to live. He said, "You are deeply loved and freely forgiven. You always have been. You always will be." Faith only becomes possible when it is preceded by and builds upon God's unconditional love for each one of us. You are here to love and to be a compassionate caretaker of yourselves, each other, and the world. In response to God's love, so freely shared with us, genuine faith leads us to love others, including ourselves. It is literally what we are put on this planet to do. Denying and avoiding this means denying and avoiding our own essential nature. You are one with everything. No one is special because everyone is special. No one is separate because everything is connected. Such an understanding of the basic and fundamental interconnectedness of life and all of creation leads us to a life of service, reaching out to others and indeed to the very planet itself, seeking justice and harmony and peace, not because we have to, but because finally we cannot do anything else. The heart of faith for Rodney Romney is relationship with God through the Spirit, with each other, and with the world. What are your core values? What are the understandings of God and the world and how it all fits together that form the foundation of your faith? How is it reflected in your faith? How is that reflected in your life? I invite you to find some time soon, later today, the next couple of days, sometime soon, to be in prayer and reflection, seeking to identify your own core values. I suspect that even if you only do this for a few minutes, you will begin a process that will continue. The answers you come up with will likely require further refinement and reflection as time goes on. Begin now and let the process take you where it will. May we remember to watch for God in our lives. May we remember to reflect God in our living. May we be people of faith who seek to live out our faith in ways which make a difference for us, for each other, and for the world. Amen.